What if I told you that the people you're trying hardest to hold on to are the exact reason your life feels stuck? Stay with me, because what Carl Jung understood about human attachment reveals something so uncomfortable that once you see it, you can never go back to relating to people the way you did before. Here's what almost nobody will tell you. Detachment isn't cold, it isn't giving up, it isn't the death of love. According to Carl Jung, detachment done correctly is the single most powerful act of psychological freedom a human being can perform. And by the end of this, you'll understand why the people who master it become almost impossible to control. Let's start with the mistake. Most people think detachment means walking away, going silent, building a wall so high that nothing can reach them. But Jung discovered that this kind of detachment isn't strength at all. It's fear wearing a disguise. When you cut people off out of hurt, you're not free of them. You're still bound to them, just from the opposite direction. The wall proves the wound is still there. Real detachment, the kind that changes your life, is something entirely different. Jung called it psychological differentiation, the ability to remain fully yourself in the presence of another person without absorbing them, without losing yourself in them, without needing them to be different than they are. And this is where it gets dangerous, because most people have never once experienced it. Listen carefully. Jung understood that we don't relate to people as they actually are. We relate to the image of them we carry inside us. He called this projection. When you're attached to someone, you're often not attached to the person at all. You're attached to the version of them you invented, the potential you keep hoping they'll finally live up to, the story you told yourself about who they could become. And you suffer, not because of who they are, but because they refuse to match the projection. Here's the part that will stop you cold. The moment you detach correctly, you stop relating to your fantasy of a person and start relating to their reality. And their reality is often far smaller, far more limited, and far less capable of giving you what you need than your projection promised. This is painful. But Jung understood it's the beginning of every genuine relationship you'll ever have. You cannot truly connect with someone you're still busy imagining. But here's where the tables turn completely. According to Jung's concept of the shadow, the traits that irritate us most in others are usually the disowned parts of ourselves, the friend who drains you, the partner who never listens, the family member who takes and takes. Jung would ask a terrifying question. What in you keeps choosing them? What part of you is being fed by the very dynamic that's exhausting you? Detachment isn't just about letting go of the other person. It's about reclaiming the piece of yourself you handed them. And this is the moment everything shifts. Jung called it withdrawing the projection. When you stop projecting your needs, your hopes, and your unlived potential onto other people, something extraordinary happens. You get all of that energy back. The energy you were spending trying to fix them, understand them, win them over, or hold on to them returns to you. And suddenly you have a fullness inside that no longer depends on anyone's behavior. Here's what Jung understood that most people never grasp. The person who cannot detach is the person who cannot be at peace, because their inner state is permanently outsourced to others. If someone is warm, they feel whole. If someone is distant, they feel abandoned. Their entire emotional world is a hostage to people who may not even be thinking about them. Jung called this participation mystique, a state of psychological fusion where you cannot tell where you end and another person begins. And most people live their entire lives inside it. But the detached individual, the one who has done this work, operates from something completely different. Jung called it psychological autonomy. They can love without clinging. They can care without controlling. They can be close to someone without dissolving into them. And here's the twist that makes them so powerful. Because they don't need anything from you, they can finally see you clearly. Their affection becomes a gift instead of a transaction. Here's the part that will send a chill down your spine. Manipulators, users, and emotional vampires depend entirely on your inability to detach. They rely on your fear of losing them. They count on your hope that they'll change, They feed on the projection you keep alive no matter how many times reality contradicts it. And the moment you detach correctly, you become invisible to them. Not because you attack, but because there's nothing left to hook. Jung understood that the strongest position in any dynamic is the person who has nothing to prove and nothing to protect. This is where you learn the difference between distance and detachment. Distance is physical. You can be 1,000 miles from someone and still be completely attached, replaying conversations, rehearsing arguments, waiting for a message that never comes. Detachment is internal. You can sit across the table from someone who once controlled you and feel nothing but calm clarity. Jung called this the integrated self. You're no longer moved by forces you don't understand. You've made the unconscious conscious, and what's conscious can no longer run your life from the shadows. Here's how the transformation actually happens. It doesn't come from forcing yourself not to care. That's suppression. And Jung warned that everything suppressed only grows stronger underground. Real detachment comes from understanding. When you finally see the projection for what it is, when you finally recognize the part of yourself you are trying to complete through someone else, the attachment doesn't have to be broken. It simply dissolves. You don't have to rip yourself away. You just stop needing to hold on. And this is what Jung called individuation, becoming whole unto yourself. The individuated person relates to others from abundance, not lack. They no longer chase people who run. They no longer beg people who leave. They no longer perform for people who cannot see them. Not because they've become hard, but because they've become full. They've reclaimed everything they were giving away, and now they choose their relationships instead of being chosen by their wounds. Here's the final piece that makes them untouchable. The person who has truly learned to detach discovers a strange paradox. Their relationships become deeper, not shallower. Because they're no longer clinging, other people finally feel free around them. Because they're no longer projecting, they finally see people as they are. And because they're no longer afraid of losing anyone, they love without the desperation that quietly poisons every attachment. That is the secret. Detachment was never about caring less, it was about needing less so you could finally love clearly. Jung understood that you cannot truly be with another person until you're able to stand alone. The moment you can walk away from anyone is the moment you can genuinely stay with someone by choice instead of by fear. And once you learn to detach this way, everything changes. The people meant for you remain. The ones who only had power over your wounds quietly fall away. And for the first time, your life stops being run by who's near you and starts being run by who you actually are.